Jannik Sinner really kind of continuing just this domination of a season, really, when you look back at the numbers he's posted this year and what a week it was, obviously in front of the home crowd, a perfect 5-0. He doesn't drop a single set en route to his first end of year championship. I mean, how impressed were you by the level he exhibited on the court? It was pretty astounding, honestly.
It was dominating. It was absolutely dominating. If you think about some of the history that he did, you said he didn't drop a set. The last man who didn't drop a set at the ATP Finals on the way to the title was Ivan Lendl, and that was nearly 40 years ago. So it's been a long time since a human has accomplished that. First Italian man to win the year-end championship. So obviously it's nice to play in front of a home crowd, but there's certainly added pressure in front of the home fans as well. And to beat the best players in the world, this event, is so special because it is the top 8 players in the world. Obviously, Novak Djokovic didn't play this year, but to get through them without dropping a set and winning all 3 of the biggest hardcourt events in a single season. So he won the Australian Open, the US Open, and now the ATP Finals. The only other humans to do that are Roger Federer and Novak Djokovic. So he puts himself in that, elite class. And you mentioned it. I mean, it's been a spectacular season. I do want to, obviously give love to Carlos Alcaraz. He won
Yeah.
2 majors this year, and that's amazing. And he did beat Sinner the 3 times they played this year. They didn't play in Turin, and Carlos was a little sick and was not 100%, so didn't get into that stage. But for Sinner, I mean, to have more titles, 8, than losses, 6, is the most astounding stat of all of them for me. I mean, that's how dominating he was this season, and that's how dominating he was at the end of the year in championships.
Yeah, no, you said it. You look at the record, 70-6 on the season, the 2 slams, now the end of year world number one, and it's like it felt like a Alcaraz, and obviously we had the slams split up, but it's incredible to realize here how much of a gap we see between 1 and 2, who's Sasha Zverev. He could be holding this ranking for a long time to come.
Yeah, and by the way, by winning so much, you do have a lot to protect next year. So he's got the Australian Open to protect, and all the other 7 tournaments that he won. He's still far and away the best player in the world right now. I think it all started at the year-end championships last year when he beat Novak Djokovic for the first time. I know he lost to him in the final, but that was a huge step for him. And I think that made him a killer. And he was like, all right, I'm going to get to number one. I'm going to be able to beat the best players in the world, and I'm going to be able to win majors. And he showed that in the first major of the year without playing any warm-ups, and kind of went from there. I mean, we talked about it on TC Live with Andy Roddick and Jim Courier and Paul Annacone. And where do you find holes in his game?
Yeah.
He's improved in every area. He's really improved his serve, but where do you attack? I mean, the backhand side is incredible, the way he turns defense into offense. He hits with such power off of both wings, serves well, can come to net. We saw in the final the drop shot. I don't know, how you beat the guy unless you have the game of Carlos Alcaraz, which can have more errors in it than Sinner. Sinner is more consistent, but as Jim Courier said, Alcaraz can go to 11 out of
Yeah.
10. And,
Yeah.
and that's what you have to do. You have to go to 11 out of 10 to beat Sinner. Now, that's a pretty aggressive game plan. And I know Taylor Fritz tried to do that. And by the way, props to Taylor Fritz for being the first, American since James Blake in '06 to make the final, to end at a career high 4 in the world. First American to do that since Andy Roddick. So spectacular season, for Taylor Fritz getting to a major final and doing all that he did. But Sinner's just better.